Okay, so what if the most valuable feedback for your product isn't coming from your loudest customers, or even your most loyal ones? Today, we're going to dive into a concept from Paul Peterson's book, The Catalytic Customer, that might just change who you listen to and, honestly, how you innovate. First things first, let's talk about a place we have all been, the innovation traffic jam. You know what I'm talking about. It's that frustrating gridlock where all the great ideas just seem to get stuck. You know this feeling, right? You're staring at an agenda that's supposed to bring clarity, but instead, it just delivers chaos. The energy in the room is high, the stakes are totally real, but the actual direction, it's all over the place. And this is exactly what that traffic jam looks like. You've got sales pulling you one way, saying they need new features to close deals right now. Then you've got customer success pulling you in a totally different direction, begging you to just fix the fundamentals. And all the while, the CTO is sounding the alarm about tech debt. Look, everyone has a valid point, but they're all pointing in completely different directions. The real problem here isn't a lack of ideas. Not at all. It's that in all this chaos, we tend to just default to the loudest voice in the room. And that leads these tiny, incremental tweaks instead of the bold moves that could actually change the game. So the big question is, how do we find the right signal in all this noise? Well, the answer isn't to just listen harder to everyone. It's to start listening to someone completely different. It's about finding a brand new signal. And that signal comes from what the book calls catalytic customers. And that brings us right to the core idea from Paul Peterson's book. He lays out this really powerful framework for finding the specific voices that can cut through all that noise and genuinely speed up meaningful change.
Now, these are not your average users. They're not your biggest fans either. Catalytic customers are different. They just see what other people miss. Think about their insights like a chemical catalyst, right? They don't just add to the mix, they speed up the entire reaction, pointing your team directly toward what truly matters.
So how do you actually spot one of these catalytic customers out in the wild? It's got nothing to do with their job title or how much money they spent. It actually comes down to 3 core traits that you can look for. And here it is. This is the magic formula, and you need all 3. See, someone who's just engaged might have great ideas, but no real power to test them out. Someone who's enabled, but isn't disposed, might just complain a lot. But when you get all 3 of these things together, the deep context, the ability to act, and that constructive mindset, that is when you get truly game-changing feedback. Okay, so it's just as important to know what they are as it is to know what they are not. Because it is really easy to mistake them for other kinds of influential people, but the differences are absolutely critical. This table just lays it out perfectly. Just look at the motivations. Influencers, they want reach. Early adopters, they want whatever's new and shiny. And look, both of those are valuable, but their feedback is shaped by those desires. Catalytic customers are different. Their pure motivation is just making the thing better. Their contribution isn't hype or testing. It's about fundamentally improving the product's actual usefulness. And you know, this might be the most surprising part of the whole thing. A lot of your best catalytic customers might not even be your customers yet. So why is that? It's because their loyalty isn't to your brand. Their loyalty is to solving the problem. And that is exactly what makes their perspective so pure and so powerful. All right, let's make this tangible. Here's how this actually looks in the real world. And we'll start with an example from a lighting company.
So the product team was deep in the weeds, you know? They were totally focused on the technical specs, voice assistant compatibility, app control, all the usual suspects.
But then, a parent, a classic catalytic customer, comes along and reframes the entire conversation. They didn't care about the specs, they cared about a real human need. I want something that lets us wake up gently. And just like that, it wasn't about technology anymore, it was about the experience.
That single insight completely changed their roadmap. The team pivoted to building customizable lighting scenes that were tied to the time of day. They went from solving a technical challenge to solving a real human problem, and boom, the product became instantly more valuable to everyone.
And you start to see this pattern everywhere. A business owner's simple need leads to a breakthrough in a budgeting app. A dad's request inspires a game-changing feature in a grocery app. The theme is always the same. A small, grounded insight from the right person leads to a massive improvement for everyone else.
So is the answer to all this just to listen harder? Well, not exactly. The big takeaway here is really about changing how you listen, and more importantly, who you listen to.
I absolutely love this quote from the book. Some customers offer you praise. The best ones give you homework. That really is the essence of a Catalytic customer. They don't just pat you on the back, they challenge you to make your work better. They're the ones giving you the tough assignments that lead to real breakthroughs. So let's just boil it all down. You have to stop trying to listen to everyone equally. Your new mission is to find those engaged, enabled, and disposed customers who can give you the homework that actually matters. Because their insights are what will cut through all the noise and show you the real way forward. So, I'll leave you with this one question. Who are the Catalytic customers that you are ignoring right now? They are out there, I promise you. They're in your support tickets, your community forums, they're buried in your feature requests, and they're offering you homework. The only question is, are you ready to do the work?